Hello, everybody. Hello. It's Jody Harvilla, day number 12 of our 31 days of spirit. So I'm going to hang for a second. Some of you might be driving. Some of you might just be getting off of work, waiting to get off work. We'll see. We are waiting for a 3 or 4 day snowstorm in the Dakotas. At least in North Dakota we are. Minnesota. It's beautiful today, though. It was like 30 degrees. I had a couple errands to run, and it is gorgeous out right now. But we could get up to, I've seen 8 to 12 inches of snow. So we'll see. Which this time of year I'm kind of okay with because it helps the ski hill and it helps to cover. We had some really warm days and my whole backyard turned to ice. So I rather have snow than ice. All right, say hello. I see a bunch of people popping on. So say hello. Hey, Zaina. Hey, Jolene. Hello. Good to see everyone. All right. I wanted to remind people of this. All right. Hello. Yeah, I hate when it rains before the snow. Don't like freezing rain. Bugs me. All right. All right, just a reminder, we still have readings on sale. So if you like to get readings, we did a deep discount on that for 30-minute phone readings. So I put the link in there just in case anyone wants to grab that for Christmas for yourself or a gift. It's been fun. A lot of people are like buying them and booking them. So it's been fun to catch up with a whole bunch of people. I've been doing all sorts of readings. Okay. You know what? I should check this while we're waiting for people to jump on. Already the 13th of the month. That's craziness. Okay. Tomorrow's Tuesday. All right, so tomorrow I will be on, let's say about 11:15. So I'm going to come on a little earlier tomorrow. Okay. Hello. So glad you made it as well. I know it's fun to catch the lives, isn't it? I think it's fun. Okay, so I had 2 different subjects I want to talk about, and I think I'm going to go back to my original subject I want to talk about, and then I'll do the other one tomorrow. Okay. I am planning for Wednesday to be the day that we talk about some home clearing stuff. So if you are interested in that, I'm teaching in Sunny Dawn Johnson's community tomorrow night, and I put a link below this post for those of you that want to take advantage of that. Or I'll be doing, and I should say and, because it's not going to be the same class. And I'll do some tips and tricks on Wednesday. So I will let you guys know tomorrow what time on Wednesday, but just in case that's one of the things that you've been waiting for, we're going to do that on Wednesday. Okay. All right. So today it was very funny. I was working on something and I got really annoyed with it today. And, insurance stuff for my mom, and it's such a pain, and they do not make it easy to work on insurance crap. And I had such a bad attitude about it, and so I had to like stop, go away, walk away, get a better attitude about it, and then I came back and everything was kind of worked out. And I started laughing, and I was like, oh, I guess we're talking about attitude today on our day with spirit. And it was like, yep, you are. And I was like, okay. So I want to talk about attitude and how much an attitude to me, it's my attitude, yes, but it's also how my attitude affects my vibration. Okay. Because it's always about energy. It's always, always, always about energy. It's about vibration. It's about working the energy of your vibration to raise your vibration so things can work easier. And a lot of people don't believe that's true. But if you have a nice high vibration and you're not trying to bullshit yourself about it, it really does make a difference in your day. So you you kind of got to get over yourself and get over your attitude. And I have a bad attitude. Just ask my husband. Not about everything. I used to have a way bad attitude, but I definitely have a trigger to get into my bad attitude really quickly, and it does mess with my day. It messes with relationships. Like, it just is annoying, and so it's something that I work on a lot, is to keep my attitude in check. And I hear a lot of people that struggle. Like, I was asking spirit for a example of that, and one of them was, they said, talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with me physically this last year, and how I had to really shift my attitude. And so a lot of people have bad attitudes about doctors and medical help and all that kind of stuff, right? And I hear them talk about it all the time, like, oh, I have this and this going on, and I went to the doctor and they were this and this and they didn't help, and they're such assholes and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, you're never going to find one that fits if you have that kind of attitude, because like, you can't go from there to there, right? And so I got COVID last year, and I had it pretty bad. I mean, like, I wasn't in the hospital or anything, but I had a lot of long haul symptoms from it. And I was like, the hell if I'm going to be like this forever. And so I really started to adjust my attitude and my mindset, because your attitude also is connected to your mindset and your vibration. And I just thought, nah, I'm just going to start asking for support. Like, I'm going to start asking my angels to lead me to what's going to help me with it, who's going to help me with it, who's got some ideas or some different treatments or whatever. And I was completely open to whether it was medical or more natural or organic or whatever. And it turned out that it was all of it. Like, I have some organic stuff that I do. I have supplements that I do. I have some, I don't anymore, but I was on some medicine, and I'm not a big meds girl, but I was like, yeah, this is actually super helpful. So I'm fine with this, because I knew it was short term as well. And even if it wouldn't have been, I still would have been okay with it, because I felt so much better. And so I had the gamut of that, but I really went into my search with a good attitude about it, because I felt like shit. And I'd felt like shit for a long time. So I was like, all right, I just got to find the right things. And it was so, like, the stories are so funny on the people that I met and the supplements that I'm on and all the different stuff. And I can't tell the one I want to tell publicly. I can't tell publicly, but it's a funny story. But it actually is one of the things that really shifted so much. And so I invite people to see where you need some support and where you're suffering, and maybe where you're so frustrated and so angry, and see if you can shift your attitude a little bit about it, so that you can open up the doors to get the support that you probably need. Like, my body was so weak, like, so I could barely, we have a bench down by the church, like, I think it's a block and a half, maybe even a block. And I would go for walks every day to keep my lungs open. And I would have to sit on that bench I could barely make it to that stupid bench and then make it home again. And I'd have to sit on that bench for a good 10 minutes. And I said, nope, not going to live like this. And so I knew I needed to start getting some strength in my body. So I called up my friend Barb, who's a beautiful trainer in town, known her for years. And I was like, listen, like, I am probably your weakest client, but I need some help. And I went in with a very open plan to get my strength back. I knew I wasn't going to be able to work out all that well. She knew it. Like, she talked about all sorts of nutritional stuff and different things. And again, I went in with such a good attitude. I'm still working out with her because it's helped so much. Like, my health is 100 degrees different. And so I think finding your attitude and getting a new attitude is sometimes very helpful. And one of my favorite stories that I have, when my dad got sick, oh my gosh, we had so much stuff to take care of and so many things, and we needed so much help, and so much of it, I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't know the right people to help me. And of course, I went to my guides and my angels, and I was like, all right, I need an expert on Medicaid. I think it's Medicaid or Medicare, Medicaid. And I had been on the phone, I had searched, I had asked online, like I'd gone everywhere. And I was clearing a house in West Fargo, and Spirit's like, go get a new bra. And I was like, don't really need a new bra, but there's a great little bra store out in West Fargo. And I was like, nah, I don't really need a new bra. And Spirit's like, yep, you do. I was like, fine, I'll go. And so I was talking to the girl, and she was all up in my stuff. And I started talking about my dad, and that I needed a Medicaid expert because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I really needed some help. And she started laughing. She goes, oh, well, what's your questions? Just bring your paperwork in. I worked for Medicaid for years. She worked for Medicaid years. And she's like, I can help you with all sorts of stuff. And she helped call the nursing homes. She helped with some paperwork. She helped with some questions so I didn't mess it up. Like, there were so many different things. It was amazing. It was really literally amazing. And I just thought, wow. Now, if I would have been like, oh, this fucking stuff sucks and I hate it, and la la, which I definitely did some of that too. I give myself time to do that too. Then I readjusted, and I just started to affirm that I am surrounded by helpful people. I am surrounded by helpful people. A lot of my colleagues have that same kind of mindset. When they are stuck on something, they have to change their attitude, they have to change their mindset, and they need to get themselves in a different place. I didn't know the help was coming, but I trusted it would come because I was opening myself up for it. Okay. Okay, so this makes me laugh. I'll tell you why in a second. So, Sam, don't hurt people's feelings. I have pneumonia, and prednisone turns me into the Hulk for literally no reason. And other than this, she's not like that unless she's on steroids. Oh my God, that cracks me up, because when I had some of my lung stuff going on, they have to put me on steroids. And my husband hates when I'm on steroids because I'm mean. And I know I'm mean, and it's like you can't stop it coming out of your face. And so the doctor asked me one time, and she said, well, do you get any, do you have any bad side effects, things like that? She's kind of going over all her stuff. I'm like, yeah, my husband said prednisone makes me mean. And she just looked at me. She doesn't always get my humor. And she just looked at me and she goes, what? I'm like, oh, I get mean when I'm on steroids. Like, they help a lot, but I'm kind of mean. And she's like, oh. And I thought it was hilarious because I think it's hilarious. And so I often just tell people, hey, I'm warning you. It's going to fall out of my face. I'm on steroids. My hairdresser too. I went to her one time and I was just a bitch. And she's like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, oh, I'm on steroids. And she gets the same way. And so she started laughing. She goes, got it. Okay, well, just keep talking. You just have to warn people. If you're in a bad attitude place, tell people. Tell people, hey, I have a really shitty attitude today, so you maybe don't want to talk to me today. Like, I tell my husband that often. I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't talk to me today. Today's not a good day for you to discuss anything with me. Or if he starts a subject that I know is going to make me just irritated, I'm like, yeah, I think you shouldn't talk to me about that. You should find someone else to talk about that. Because there's certain subjects that stir me up, and there's no reason to be stirred up about it. Like, there's no reason for it. It's just to stir me up and get my attitude going. So I'm like, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. No reason for it. It's a waste of energy. And so I do think it's okay to tell people, like, hey, I have a bad attitude today. I've gone to my coach and I'm like, yeah, I really have a shitty attitude about this. Today is not the day to work on this. And I'm working on changing my bad attitude about it. And when that happens, then we can come back and visit this. Because I think you can't bullshit the universe. So you might as well embrace it. And oftentimes when you embrace your bad attitude, it goes away much faster because you're just not willing to hang on to that. Does that make sense? Yep. Kathy said, I've said it is best that I'm on my own. I'm looking for an outlet. Avoid me today. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I've told my kids that many times, like, you're on my last nerve and that's all I have today. So you are getting a choice. And a warning that this is where I'm at, has nothing to do with you, but you keep bugging me, it's not going to be good for you. Because I know myself. I know I have a mouth on me. Everyone knows I have a mouth. And so when I can do that, at least it gives me a minute to breathe and step out of it. It's my responsibility. It's my responsibility, nobody else's. And so I think that's the other piece too, is if you do have a bad attitude, nobody's fault but your own, because that's annoying. But I think it also means you're in control too. So you can change it. And it might take you a day or two, or it might take you a little bit to get yourself into a new place with it, but you can make it work, and you can make it pay off in a way that actually helps. Like today, it really was like, I just really was pissed, and I was pissed. And so I just stepped away and did something else. And then what was super funny, so I was really mad about this stuff today. And I came around the corner. I was going to go inside and get some more water. And this lady was standing there, scared the shit out of me. And I was like, just startled. And she goes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And she's like standing at my door with her hand on my door. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she was like from the census department or something. And I heard that I should talk to her. Normally I'd be like, you know what? I'm working. I'm busy. I got a client coming up. Like, I don't have time for this. And I was like, yeah, I'll talk to you. Sure. So I said, go in the backyard into my little she shed and warm up, because she was outside doing this work. I said, I'll be there in just a second. Got my water, came out, and she sat down, and she was so polite and so nice. And I was like, you don't often get treated nice, do you? And she goes, no, nope, people are not interested in this. And I started to laugh, and I was like, well, at least you get to warm up in here. And she's like, yeah, I like, this is so nice. Like, did your husband build this? And I said, yep. I said, he's a big handyman and built me this great office, and it's awesome. And she goes, does he have a brother? Because I'm single, and this would be really nice to have. She was hilarious and so kind. And at the end, she said, I really gave up on humanity for a couple of years. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, I just couldn't believe when I started this how cruel people could be. And they don't know me, and I'm just trying to get groceries on my table. And meeting someone like you today really changed that. And I was like, And I was really pissed before you showed up, and just snotty and bad attitude. And I hadn't called anybody because I knew I would be bitchy. But I just thought, okay, well, you just changed my day too, and probably the outcome of what's going to happen for me this afternoon. So thank you. And she was just so kind about it. And so I came in, much better attitude, made one phone call, different things worked out. And I was like, all right, see, change your attitude and you can change your outcome. And it's not always, just change your mind and everything's great. Like it doesn't always work that way, but you can go into it with a different vibration and a different energy, so it doesn't have to be so horrific all the time. Does that make sense to my reactive people? Because I'm a reactor. I react to things. And so learning how to respond and adjust my energy, adjust my attitude, adjust my mindset, that's changed everything in my life. And I still can have a bad attitude. That's all right. We're human. Happens. Does that make sense, you guys? Good. No, I thought it was a great subject. Like, you know what? The holidays, sometimes you're going to have a bad attitude about it. I have lots of people, and they're like, bah humbug. I hate Christmas. I'm like, oh, but it's the magic part. And they're like, what do you mean the magic part? I'm like, oh, I like the magic part. That's what I like. I like the twinkly lights, and I like, the beautiful music, and I like the snowy days and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, I like all that stuff. I'm like, well, then just focus on that stuff. You can like that stuff and leave the rest. That's okay. The weather. Oh my God, people get so they get so angry about weather, and they can't control it. Now, I got my days with the winter stuff. I understand. But I am definitely not going to waste my entire winter being pissed about how cold it is, or my entire summer being pissed on how hot it is. And we learned many years ago that we weren't going to move out of Fargo. It wasn't a decision that we were going to make anytime soon. And we needed to find a way to embrace winter, or it was going to be miserable. And I'm just not going to be miserable for 7 months out of the year. I'm just not. And so we had to find lots of ways to appreciate winter. Like, I love that we have a snowstorm finally coming in. I'm like, I can cook and I can do my computer work and I can do my work and I can be cozy in my she shed. Like, I love that. I love to have really good winter stuff. Like, I have good boots, I have good socks, I have good snow pants, I have good coats and hats and all that kind of stuff. A couple years ago, we went to this retreat place. It really was deliverance country. Really was. Sight unseen, I rented this place for us. And it turned out, still to this day, is one of my favorite retreats I've ever done. And I love all my retreats, but this one was so interesting because I knew we were going to do stuff outside, and I told everyone to bring outdoor clothes. And it wasn't a huge retreat. We didn't have a ton of people, I think 14 maybe. And I think every single person there was like, wow, I forgot how fun it is to be outside in the winter. And I was like, if you're dressed warm enough, you can do anything outside, and you can get spikes for the bottom of your shoes. And so many of them went back and stayed outside all winter, which changes winter depression and all of that kind of stuff that comes up. So attitude helps with that piece. Yeah, someone says attitude helps with pain. Yeah, that one's a hard one for so many. Kim says, my attitude towards my sore back used to be so negative. Now that I have worked on my attitude and my back is improving. Yep. And I think sometimes that's really hard to do by yourself. If it's chronic pain and you're suffering and it's all of those things, you might need some more support around keeping your attitude up. But yeah, attitude does help with pain. It really, really does. And if you're in one of our clients and one of my good clients, she had cancer, and one of our things that we spent so much time talking about was her attitude before she went into chemo. And I've heard that from 100 different people, hundreds, I would say, of people, is the days that they could adjust their vibration and get in alignment and go into chemo with a really positive attitude, that it was going to help them and it was helping them become healthy and all that kind of stuff, was way different than when they went in, I'm going to fight it and fuck it and la la la, and they brought all that aggression and anger. It really shifted their experience of when they went in. And for sometimes, I think sometimes you do have to go in as a warrior. You just do. And sometimes you can go in more open, let it come through and things like that. So I think play with it a little bit and see which one works best for you. My warrior stuff and having an attitude helped for a long, long time in my life. I get a lot of shit done when I have an attitude. But now I can have an attitude and be a little bit more calm and a little bit more responsive instead of reactive attitude. My husband would probably not agree with that, but that's right. All right. Questions, comments on attitude and adjusting your attitude. Affirmations help. Meditation helps. Getting outside walking helps. Journaling and burning helps. Like all the tools, you guys. Getting your mind off of it. Go watch some videos. Go talk to a friend. Go help somebody else that needs your help. Like meeting that girl today, I was like, wow, aren't you just in my path for a reason? Like because she was so grateful I was kind, like so grateful. And then at the end, she's like, well, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a psychic medium. And she's like, oh my God, really? Like, can I have your card? Yes, you can. And I know at some point I'm going to do reading for this woman. So you kind of got to watch for the miracles too, my friends. All right, that's what I have for you today. Any questions? Morning is my stiff time. Yep, she has stuff with her hands and stuff like that. So meditation really helps with a cup of coffee. Yep, I had to have a little snarky attitude today. I had some pain. Yep, it's all right to be a little snarky. I think sometimes that snark and that attitude kind of helps you push through if you need to push through. I don't want you always pushing, though. That's the point. You don't always have to push. Sometimes you need to allow the healing, allow the kindness, allow the help, allow yourself to just let your feelings move through you. But yeah, a little snark. I don't mind a little snark. That's why I did. That is why I created Naughty Spirit. That is why I created Naughty Spirit. Because when I read these cards, they are hilarious to me. And they get through my attitude, always making me laugh. And then my attitude shifts. That is why I have these cards. Exactly. It's why I did this daily calendar. All right, so let's do, I'll tell you what the daily saying for January 12th is today. And then I'll pull a card before we get off. So your Naughty Spirit message, go kick some ass today. That's an order. Love Naughty Spirit, of course. And then let me pick one card for all of us today, what we need to know today. And then I have a private class tonight, so I gotta go. Ooh. All right, wants 2 cards. We can do 2 cards. Oh yeah, prizes. Yes. So my first prize that I have drawn today, thank you, Carla. My very first prize that I am doing today, and I'll do another tomorrow, but today's prize goes to Stacy Strack. Okay, she was in the hat for all the people that commented over on Mighty Networks, and she wins a 30-minute phone reading with me, a certificate that she can use anytime this year. Stacy Strack, and I'll go ahead and post that over on Mighty Networks too. I'm not sure if she is on Facebook. And then tomorrow I will post another, or I'll announce another. Thank you, Carla. I totally would have forgot about that. Okay. All right, so your cards, these are really good. Okay, your first card. Let's see if I can get into focus. Stop sweating the small effing stuff. It is tiresome. Don't you get so tired of worried about stuff and sweating the small stuff? Oh, it's so frustrating. Okay, so stop sweating the small stuff. And then your next one, which follows beautifully. Spread those angel wings and fly. Aren't those great messages? This one flew out at first. So they wanted you to have a double message today. Okay, so Naughty Spirit deck. And our first prize is Stacy Strack. Remember, if you want to be in the drawing for prizes, you need to comment over on Mighty Networks as much as you want. The more that I see your name, the more that you go into my hat. Okay. And each day I put a little post up and ask a question. Just go answer it. Okay. Today it'll be about something about attitude. I'll come up with a little question and post it over there. Okay. All right, friends, I got to go. I got class coming up, and I will see you tomorrow. What time did I say here? We will do tomorrow at, did I say 11 or 11:30? What did I tell you guys at the beginning? Did I tell you 11 or 11:30? I bet I said 11:30. Did I write it down? No, of course not. I'm going to say 11. Okay. Oh, 11:15. I wasn't even on either one. Let's do 11:15. Okay, tomorrow on the 13th, we're going to do 11:15, my friends. Okay? All right, I will talk to you all soon and see you tomorrow at 11:15. Bye, guys.